Is it just a coincidence that Russia fired warning shots at a British yacht right after Defence Secretary John Healey announced his resignation, citing inadequate military spending? Welcome to Politics and Principles, where we don't just talk politics, but the principles that should be driving political decisions and actions. In this video, we look at John Healey's resignation speech in Parliament, his reaction to Russian aggression in UK waters, his stance on illegal boat crossings from France, and the principle of priorities. If you want a principled take on the issues that matter, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any important topics. Let's get into the details.
John Healey, a year ago, your leader promised to smash the gangs that were shipping illegal immigrants across the Channel. It's reported that hundreds of people crossed yesterday, more than in recent times. What went wrong?
Pretty shocking, those scenes yesterday. Truth is, Britain's lost control of its borders over the last 5 years.
The proportion of people intercepted by the French police has actually declined over the last couple of years. 2 years ago, it's 47%. Last year, it's 45%. This year, 38%. That's on your watch. We're not getting much return for 480 million quid, are we?
Well, you're right.
Defence Secretary John Healey was asked about illegal migration on Sky News by Trevor Phillips, and he admitted we have lost control of Britain's borders. Hundreds of illegal migrants on rubber dinghies freely sail across from France to the UK almost every week without any deterrent from our military. If our leaders say the quiet part out loud that we have lost control of our borders, do they not know our enemies are listening? If so, what do they expect our enemies to think?
Russian spy ship, the Yantar, is on the edge of UK waters north of Scotland, having entered the UK's wider waters over the last few weeks. This is a vessel designed for gathering intelligence and mapping our undersea cables. We deployed a Royal Navy frigate and RAF P-8 planes to monitor and track this vessel's every move. So my message to Russia and to Putin is this: we see you, we know what you're doing, and if the Yantar travels south this week, we are ready.
Defence Secretary John Healey stood by and watched Russia pass through checking our underground cables and only said, "We see you." What was he defending here? Who is he defending? Then he gave his resignation speech in Parliament.
As I take my seat on the back benches for the first time for more than 10 years, I took the decision to resign with the very greatest regret and reluctance. I continue to be certain about this decision. In time, I believe it will be seen as necessary in securing the future of our armed forces. We only ever wanted a successful Labour government leading a stronger Britain. And my decision last week was about our country, not career.
He resigned just a few days before the election in Makerfield, where Andy Burnham had just stood and won, moving from Mayor of Greater Manchester into Parliament. Healey said he had handed his resignation because there were not enough funds to support the military. But how long did he know there was a problem with defence spending? He was Defence Secretary. He had access to every number, every budget, and every shortfall. If this was genuinely about principle, he would have said something long before now. So ask yourself this: why now? And just before the election, probably sensing Burnham had a strong chance of winning, Healey walks out of his job as a Defence Secretary with a principled sounding reason attached to his name. Healey is watching the same political shift play out that everyone else is watching. Starmer is weakening. Burnham is moving into position. And Healey is making sure he's well positioned if Burnham becomes the next Prime Minister. John Healey was one of Starmer's right-hand man. He backed him on everything. He did the media rounds and covered for Starmer at every turn, but he does not want to go down with the sinking ship. So he leaves now with a story that makes him look like a man of integrity, and he waits to see which way this lands. This was not the right time to step down. If Healey had real integrity, he would have raised the alarm about defence spending long ago. And if Starmer refused to act, then he resigns. That is what standing on principle looks like. What we got instead was a man who stayed quiet, stayed loyal, and only spoke up when it suited him. And while all his political maneuvering was going on, the real threats to Britain were not standing still. A Russian warship fired at a British yacht in British waters. At the same time, hundreds of illegal migrants, military-aged men without documents, men we cannot identify with unknown backgrounds and unknown intentions, continue to cross the channel from France in large rubber boats every single week. Our soldiers are told to stand down and watch, as if they are ceremonial props rather than a fighting force. Now Russia is firing shots at a yacht in British waters and the government is unable to do anything. Yet Defence Secretary John Healey comes out and says, "We see you and we are ready." Ready for what exactly? The British people do not want a war with Russia or anyone else. Are we really ready for war with Russia? Do we want to be ready for a war that could very likely go nuclear and wipe England off the map? If our leaders are unable to protect us from rubber dinghies carrying illegal migrants, how can they protect us from ironclad Russian warships and nuclear submarines? The first responsibility of any government is to protect and defend its citizens from enemies foreign and domestic. I believe our leaders are playing with fire. If our leaders have lost control of British borders to rubber boats and illegal migrants, what does that signal to Moscow? Enemies smell weakness. I am sure that Putin have heard them talking about the limited spending on the military, and he may see that we are vulnerable. Leaders must prioritize what is most urgent and is a necessity first. Prioritizing means spending on the military rather than endless welfare spending. Prioritizing protecting our borders and our people over everything and everyone else. You take control of the border by using anything necessary, including the military and the navy, to protect the homeland rather than standing by and looking. Trust is the glue of leadership. It is the one thing that changes everything. Someone once told me that trust is to a relationship what oxygen is to life. That applies to personal relationships, but it also applies to the relationship between the British government and the people of this great nation. Right now, that oxygen is running out fast because people watch dinghies land every week on British shores, and at the same time, we hear we are ready for Russia. Trust is only earned when you say what you mean and then do exactly what you said. When you say, "We are ready," after failing to stop the boats, nobody believes you. Trust demands transparency. Until our leaders show that they are prioritizing the things that urgently need fixing and earn back trust by fixing what is right in front of them, all the tough talk is just noise that makes things worse. If you cannot stop the rubber boat today, nobody will trust you to stop a nuclear submarine or Russian warships tomorrow. True leadership shows itself in what comes first. The principle of priorities is not complicated. Protect the homeland, secure the borders, strengthen the military so that our enemies think twice. When leaders get their basics right, they build on real trust with the British people. When they get them wrong, everything else falls apart. Choose leaders who prioritize real protection of Britain and its people first. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.